Morning, guys. I want to talk about the Romance Dawn Blue Bottoms today. So obviously these over the last week have started to skyrocket again. Basically, since August 8th, so for about 3 weeks, we had a bit of a lull in the price of these. We had one sale on the 14th of August, and then we pretty much had about 2 weeks of no sales. So it kind of went sideways for a bit. Last weekend, we had news come out that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank had actually bought a collectible graded basketball card for $13 million, which was basically an all-time high record for any card ever sold. I do think that has been the catalyst for seeing a jump in the collectibles. Obviously, I think that is spilling over into One Piece. Basically, since that happened, we had no sales for quite a long time, and then pretty much overnight, yesterday, we've had two sell for 2,500, 2,550. If we go on to 130 point and look at some of the eBay sales as well over the last 4 days. So basically since the weekend. So we pretty much had no sales for quite a while. The market was trying to decide what to do. And then obviously, I believe that, the news of this all-time high card sale has ignited another run in the collectibles market. And I do think that spillover is happening. If we look at 130 point, August 27. So basically yesterday, 2,550, 2,400, 2,475. This was August 27. This was August 26. Then we had a bit of a cheap one go on August 25. I did actually look into this seller, and it was a very low feedback seller. So I'm assuming that that's why it got a lower price. Then on August 25 as well, 29.50. I think that was an all-time high record. I don't think we've ever seen a blue bottom sell for more than 29.50 before. So, basically since last weekend, after having not seen any or many sales over the last 2 weeks, we have just seen an absolute ton of them sell over the last 4 days. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 on TCG Player overnight as well. So after seeing no sales and a bit of a sort of sideways lull, all of a sudden over the last 4 days, we've gotten, 7, 8 sales, all at extremely high prices, like well over 2,000 US dollars. We're talking 25.50. If we go back here and look at how much they were trading at the start of the month, we're looking at $1,500. Oh, sorry, $1,800, $1,900, 1950. So pretty much we went from $1,950, $2,000, bit of a sideways, and then all of a sudden a massive jump all the way up to 2,500. Pretty much overnight, pretty much since that big that announcement came out from Kevin O'Leary that he bought a collectible card for $13 million. So obviously, that shouldn't. If you look at that on its own, you wouldn't think that is anything related to One Piece. But I think it's the sentiment shift that we're going to start to see here. We're going to start to see collectibles taken more seriously as an asset class. Obviously, Pokemon is skyrocketing as well. I do think One Piece is seeing some of that benefit. I think in terms of my opinion, I think One Piece has a bright future ahead of it. I think, right now it's targeting, so the demographic that it's targeting is around, 20 to 25 year olds. I think if we look at this 10 years down the track, provided this game continues to succeed, the people that are sort of into this now will be in their financial primes, 5-10 years from now. So I do think that this has a very bright future ahead of it. I think it's probably not just going to be something that is related to the sealed product. I think we're going to see a bump in the grails as well. I think there's some really good cards, like all the serialized winners cards from the treasure cups. They're serialized up to 1,000. We've got the top 8 promo cards as well. They're in fact even rarer than the serial cards. I think a lot of those top 8s only have population counts of 2 to 400. I think we're going to start getting some spillover, and I do think things are really going to start heating up in the sealed product and the grail side of One Piece. So I just thought I'd share that this morning. A lot of really high sales. I think the sales have started really, really ramping up on these blue bottoms. These are pretty much, basically first edition boxes. So if anyone doesn't actually know the history behind these, this is the first box that One Piece put out. And then after 2 waves, they put out another reprint set, but they changed the box and they changed some of the text in the card. So, and then from that point onwards, not only did they change the box for Romance Dawn. From that point onwards, all the boxes and all the sets that have come out since have all been that different shape as well. So that pretty much sets apart this particular box, the blue bottom box, as like a first edition limited edition print. And it's also got the different text cards as well. So these are pretty much now cemented as the #1 collectible in the sealed product space. If we're talking, singles, obviously that's a completely different video. I've got my opinions on those as well. But in terms of the sealed product, this is pretty much the holy grail. And over the last week, we've seen some absolute monster sales. Like if we look at this over a yearly basis, like this is just a parabolic chart. But it's starting just to go absolutely more parabolic. And pretty much after 2 weeks of sideways, I think the next leg up has just been kickstarted here. We've started seeing a lot of sales. We've got 2 overnight on TCG Player, 7 over the last 4 days on eBay, which have all been really high prices, including $29.50, which is a pretty much all-time high record sale for this blue bottom. There's starting to be a very limited amount of quantity available on the market. Like if we look on TCG Player, there is literally only 34 listed. That is, not only is that an insanely low number, but then you can go ahead and minus some of these. This seller's selling 7 of a Korean. So what do we got? We got 34. We'll all right, so we can minus those 7. We go 34 minus 7. We got another one here, which is a Japanese one. This seller's got 8. Which is another Japanese one. This one, seller's got another 3. And then that's it. So if we minus all those, basically that only leaves us with 15. So this current quantity that's available on TCG Player isn't actually correct. There's only actually 15 available for sale, which is just next to nothing. There's a couple on eBay. There's a few auctions coming up, which are going to be ending over the next week. I think there's maybe 2 or 3. But like in terms of how many people are selling this and how rare this is, there is nothing available. So either price skyrockets and then maybe some people decide to sell and more supply comes on the market, or people are just holding this and planning to hold this for multiple years, which I'm doing. I've got a sealed case of this and multiple loose boxes as well. And I have absolutely zero intention of selling these. Even if these pop to 5K, 7K, I'm not going to be selling. I'm going to be holding these for multiple years to come. I think this has potential to be 20, 30, 40K box. I mean, if we look at Pokemon, the first edition box, the base set, that's selling for like 450,000. Now, given that's 30 years later, it's been around for that long. I personally believe One Piece has staying power, and I do believe it will be relevant in the next 10 years. So that's my time horizon. So this could shoot up 200, 300, 400% from here, and I still have no plan on selling any of my boxes. I'm going to be holding on to these for the long haul. But I believe, a lot of people who are buying these are going to be in the similar positions and have the same thoughts. I think just the fact that it is absolutely skyrocketing here and starting to sell for record sales, and the current listed quantity online just keeps getting lower and lower and lower, and and this quantity isn't getting replenished as price goes higher, is just a testament to the fact that I think a lot of people are going to be absolutely holding onto this box for dear life for the long term. And as this sort of current quantity just starts to dwindle more and more, the price is just going to start going more and more parabolic, because the very few sellers that are actually left on the market get to set the price. But that's pretty much my thoughts on this particular one. I'll probably do another video on One Piece another time, going into more details about all the boxes that I like and all the singles that I like. But this video is pretty much just about this Grail first edition booster box, blue bottom Romance Dawn, and my thoughts on that moving into the future. All right, cheers guys, bye.